Nuggets of Faith family. I pray everyone is doing well. In fact, I pray that everyone is doing great and that God has kept us all well. I have been kept well of the Lord, not by my might or power, but only by the Spirit of God. And I am here again. I'm so glad to find time to share a beautiful story with you people. And it is a story that I have waited for a time that God can grant me a voice. And I thank God for this platform. I thank God for each and every one of you who have subscribed to this channel. I've seen 20 new subscribers, or is it 24 new subscribers? Thank you for subscribing. You are so welcome to this family, and I thank God for each and every one of you. May you be inspired, and I pray that there will always be something that I put out there that will help somebody, because I remember from the time before I started this channel, I really struggled with the reality of starting it, and there were so many voices telling me that, like, what are you doing? This is not your thing. Leave it for those who are, who have big names. But with time, I'm seeing why God led me to start this channel. And the greatest mandate of this channel is to share testimonies, because that is the instruction that God gave me, to share testimonies. And I am here today to share a testimony and to share a beautiful story. I really needed and desired to do it when I'm more calm, and I feel I'm calm enough to say the story now, because most of the time I would never tell anybody this without, just crying and getting messed up in the middle. But anyway, it is a story that is to God's glory and to show that God uses people, and God has put his love in people. There are people who carry God's love in a very genuine way. And if you have experienced a lot of, let's say you have, this spirit of jealousy has been fighting you, and anywhere you go, it's like people fight you, your potential is being crushed down. Sometimes you can feel like, God, are there people that really carry your love genuinely? That people who can celebrate my wins even when I win more than them, or I have gone ahead of them. People like Jonathan, who celebrated David and how David loved Jonathan. That kind of, that kind of friendship and that kind of a relationship. Sometimes as in our Christian walk, we tend to wonder who is for me, who is genuinely working with me. And I'm here to just inspire somebody that yes, there are people that God has put his love in them just for you. And my story starts, I go way back to high school. I schooled at Moi Girls School, Nairobi. People know it famously as Cabs. That is a nickname. So I got to high school and I met very many people, amazing people. Others we fell out, others we are still friends. And there's one particular lady, I want to share her story today. So this amazing lady, we met in high school. From Form 1 we were together all through to 4th form. And it so happened that we happened to be around the same neighborhood. Her parents' house was around our neighborhood also. And so we just came to build a friendship with time. And she was a very quiet person, very smart, very intelligent. She's those quiet but very deep waters. And what I noticed and is that God was actually burdening her for me, and I've always felt God's love through this girl. And I say this with all humility. God showed me mercy through this girl. And I know myself, sometimes I can even have such a great idea, but I'm afraid, and God has been using her to get me out of that cocoon. So we were friends in high school, and we still are. And I remember this particular part in high school that proved that really God is able to love me through people. Not everyone is bad, and not everyone means me harm, even in my seasons of trial. No. So I remember, as I had ever mentioned in one of my videos, that I struggled getting through school. I really struggled. High school especially, it was tough. It was tough. And I remember there are times I would be chased away because of lacking school fees, and it used to be so embarrassing. And there are those times in high school, people are happy, we are getting a car break to go. But it reached a day we were chased because of school fees. I don't know if we were two in our class, I don't know. And everyone else went back to school apart from me. I think I stayed, I don't know if it was a whole month plus, and I missed entry exams. Things just moved on. And I remember at that time there were some of my friends who would even borrow a teacher the phone to reach to me and ask me, Faith, what's going on? They're asking me, when are you coming back to school? And I just remember I used to tell them, I don't know. And for some reason, people used to look at me and think I'm from a very wealthy home and I'm just overflowing in money. May that money come. Amen. So it's this like a clash of realities. When people look at you, they're saying like, hey, you look like this girl who's from this classy family. So it's like, who are you really? So I was in that confusion. I'm at home. I'm even embarrassed going to the shops because I'm like, when people see me, they'll think I refuse to go to school. And really I hadn't, because at some point even there were narratives that I've refused school. Those things used to hurt me. I cried countless of times, and I'm like, God, what is this? Because I remember in primary, I never used to struggle with my studies, but something around there, class 7, going on class 8, there was like, I don't even know what happened, but there was a real struggle. And so here I am. I've been chased away. I've stayed home, and a month has passed by. So my friends ask me, and I'm like, I don't know. So all the time I lock myself in the room. And I remember we had a double decker like in our room with my sister. So I used to sleep at the top decker. So I used to just sleep there like the whole day. I didn't have any motivation for anything. I used to feel I don't even have energy to wake up to do anything. I don't even know if I was slipping into depression, but I really felt it. I really felt that dark cloud. And when I was sharing about how God can heal you of depression, that was one season that it had to take the revelation of God and God's love to get me out of that dark place in my mind. So I remember after some time, a miracle happened. One of my relatives agreed to now write a standing order to pay for me to finish. I thank God for her and that decision she made. And so when I went back to school, I was so off. I remember I couldn't even understand what people were being taught. I specifically remember the day I went back to school, I found guys being taught about moles. Me, my understanding of moles, I don't even want to say. I thought moles are animals. We are being told about that animal called a mole. So I just remember wondering, what are people calculating about moles? I was so off, Yani. It's chemistry. I'm lost. I'm like, gosh, I was almost out a whole term. Exams have been done. And it was those exams that were determining indexing. Hey, so that pinned my spirit even down the more. And I'm like, God, just when I'm in Form 3, I'm closer to the end than the beginning. I wish this could have happened in the beginning and not now. It really messed me up. It really messed up with my self-esteem. And I remember even at some point when I went back to school, and there's a day a teacher called me to read something in front of the class, and I could not. That's when I knew how much my confidence had been shattered, because like in primary, all through, I think apart from class 7, I was a prefect. And I always had that the authority would come naturally in me. I would go speak in front of people. But this once, I was not able to. I remember I stood there, my voice was shaking. And then to make matters worse, there are people who I thought are my friends, they started laughing at me. So that whole scenario traumatized me. Already, I was fearful. I was like, I'm going to be a dropout. Then here I come. I try to fit in again. Then people I thought were my friends, they're the ones who are even laughing loudest at me. Then I remember one person came to me at break time, and I really thought she's a friend. Then she asked me, "Hey, what's wrong with you? Why weren't you able to read? What's wrong? Why were you shaking?" Then out of nowhere, one day she tells me in class, "Guy, Mwigs, maisha yako inakuanga na shida mingi." So at that time, I was like, what is happening? Why are people being so nasty to me? Why is all this happening to me? And honestly, that's where I just died. I just went into a dark place. I'm like, God, you're the only safe place I can find. But at that time, I could not even pray well. So I remember one day, my friend, Salome Waweru, now she's married. She's not Waweru. She's Mrs. She's a Mrs. now. So I remember that time, Sally, as I call her, one day she just approached me and she asked me, "Faith, are you comfortable with me walking with you through what you have missed the time that you are away? I'm willing to teach you. I'm willing to, oh God, I'm willing to help you cover the things you have missed." So I'm thinking, when will we do this? So when I asked her, she told me we can be doing this during prep time. So kawaida, prep time is a time for people to do their individual studies. But here comes somebody telling me they are ready to sacrifice their preps for me. And guys, let me tell you, Sally did that. Sally did that for me. And I remember we would go to the library. She was a library prefect. We would sit in the library. She would teach me. I don't get it at that time. I think my mind was just under so much attack. I could feel the heaviness. I remember telling her, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm reading even a sentence 5 times. I'm not even getting it. Later on, I came to understand what all that mental attack was about. But I remember now Sally took it upon herself, and we would go to the library with her, and she would teach me, and she would take her time with me, and she asked me, "Have you understood?" Adi, she gives me an extra work to do to see if I've gotten it. And sometimes I would just not get it. And she would still be so patient and loving. And I really thank God for our class teacher, Mrs. Njoroge. Yes, she was our physics teacher also. Let me tell you guys, sometimes you may think you're just giving somebody words, but you're giving them life and you're resurrecting their spirit. I remember when I came back, Mrs. Njoroge sent for me and she spoke to me. She just told me, Faith, I know what you have gone through is hard and it will not be easy, but I believe you're able to catch up. I can say in that season, people who pushed my spirit was my class teacher, Mrs. Njoroge, and majorly Sally, because I just needed that encouragement, that showing me that there is hope. And I remember Mrs. Njoroge sharing her testimony with me, and I won't go into details, but it really revived my spirit. And she told me one day she had ever been in the same position. She was even at home longer because of school fees, and she explained to me all that happened. And I just remember how we would go through those preps, and there are times I'll just look at this girl and I'm like, who has sent her? And I could just see the love of God. And after that, for sure, we have gone through different seasons, and she has been there to celebrate me. In fact, I'm majorly here to ask you as my subscribers to please show her support also on her channel. She has a gift of poetry, and this is a gift, I'm sure it's from the Holy Spirit, because those words that God gives her, I have felt them. They have life, and so many people testify. I will link her channel on my description, the description below. Please guys, help me to thank this friend, because one thing, gratitude is important, and I understand the magnitude of having a grateful heart, and I'm here publicly saying thank you, Sally. May God bless you. And I pray that all my subscribers can just even come and subscribe to your channel, and they just experience the gift of God in you, because salvation is more than just words. Thank you for celebrating me, even when I have won before your time, and you have celebrated me in seasons of marriage. I remember you used to call me every Tuesday, and you would fast with me and pray with me every Tuesday before my wedding. Thank you for celebrating every season of my life that had victories, and thank you for crying with me when I was crying. I thank God, and may God bless you. And even if you get more blessed than me, I will even be happy, because God showed me his love through you. May you be blessed. Nuggets of Faith family, please help me to thank this friend of mine. Please just go and subscribe and show her support. I believe the world has not yet even tasted or even gotten a glimpse of who she is. This is a great woman of God, and I thank God majorly. It is God. I give God all the glory for always bringing hope whenever I felt like there is no hope. So this is also an encouragement that God is able to use people and different circumstances to uplift you. This is an encouragement to somebody who may be even struggling with fees and you think you will never study. One day I'll come to talk of how I came to go to the university, how I came to go to Kesra. It was just a miracle. And that is the God we serve, because God can get you through seasons without a struggle, but he can cause his favor to push you seasons that would have taken you even 20 years. God is able to redeem time. Just stay faithful to him. Just depend on God. Know he's your father. He's a good father. He's a good friend, and he will help you. So he continually transforms us from one glory to another, as 2 Corinthians chapter 3 verse 18 says. And so if you're in Christ, you are assured that you know what, no matter the battles, there is a greater glory. And thank you also, PeterAmor Salons. Thank you so much. I will put their Instagram handle. Thank you for helping me to celebrate this amazing lady. May God bless you. Guys, this is another amazing place. I would urge the ladies who love beauty stuff and all that, this is a place of excellence. Thank you so much for helping me to say thank you to her. And thank you, Nuggets of Faith family, for taking your time to listen, to subscribe, to even share. I am so encouraged, honestly. And may God bless each and every one of you. If this has inspired you, please, and you know there is someone who is in a dark place, share with them. Let them know that God is able to use people as an instrument of his love. Thank you so much. God bless you, and I will see you again on another nugget. See you, and God bless.